Friday at the Royal Meeting, and an interesting day all round. Ryan Moore is clocking so many winners, he's now after the great Lester Piggott in the all-time rankings. And Friday could be a very good day for Ryan Moore. But, as is the playbook, let us get a couple of the handicaps out of the way. First up, the Duke of Edinburgh Stakes. Well, wouldn't it be great for old Charlie Boy if Warrant Holder scores in the Duke of Edinburgh, given that was the King's former title after inheriting it from Prince Philip? And I reckon he's got every chance under William Buick, and when I looked back at his last run at York's Dante Meeting, I did think he's a better model this term. Here, without the second in that York race, Carl Burke's Thunder Run lining up, it's probably the Wathnan racing duo of Opportunity and Hopewell Rock that William Buick needs to keep tabs on, though Andrew Balding's Plage de Havre could also be in with a squeak. Yeah, it would be a very popular winner warrant card, so he gets my vote. For the Palace of Holyrood House, I reckon I'll take a chance on Carl Burke's Stargazed for this 5-furlong dash, with Jack Nichols's £5 claim giving this Zoustar filly a featherweight mark. But it's always interesting to see who Wesley Ward brings over from the States, and Barzio looks one super fast bullet. His last run at Churchill Downs was impressive enough, bolting to the front before the first turn, and then on, never in doubt who was going to win. I wouldn't be at all surprised to see Baccio leading at the 2-furlong pole. But can he hang on? Stargazed to reel him in, I'd say. But that's my 1-2. My Friday nap goes in the Commonwealth Cup. Loved her last year, love her this, and rightly to me, she's a hot favourite for this Commonwealth Cup. Proven Ascot form, when we tipped her for the Albany at last year's festival, I got 10-1 anti-post, so was Cockahoot when she delivered, and given the only blot on her copybook was a failed try at a mile in the 1,000 guineas this term, her demolition of the field back in a sprint in the Sandy Lane at Haydock last time out from the 2-furlong pole showed what a classy sprinter she is. The reopposing division was 3 lengths back there, so I'd guess that Ballydoyle's Albert Einstein would be the big danger, with Ryan Moore taking the ride, while Wise Approach and Koppel all have a place on my list. Caroline, what's your angle?
Oh yes, Jaysella, I'm absolutely on board with Venetian Sun, who was a brilliant juvenile and has proved she's trained on and was better than ever when cruising the Sandy Lane the last day. Just watch the replay and see how relaxed Clifford Lee is through the first 4 furlongs. And how much toe did Venetian Sun show from the 2 marker? I must be telling Yuz, I thought that Charles Darwin would be the top sprinter in Aidan O'Brien's team this year, but to me was a huge disappointment in the Lacken Stakes the last day. But don't write him off just yet, and in his first run this season, did look to have trained on too. Donata O'Brien's Havana Anna won that Lacken Stakes where Charles Darwin disappointed, so they both could get involved, but I do think this is Venetian Sun's race for the taking.
And both me and Caroline's next best go in the Coronation Stakes. Well, it's the 1-2 from the Irish 1,000 guineas with Precise and True Love facing up to each other again. Drawn next to each other in stalls 5 and 6, the tactics over the first 2 furlongs will be interesting, and Ryan Moore will be very aware of the turn of foot that Precise showed in that classic at the Curragh, so could well wait for Wayne Lorden to play his hand on True Love. So interesting this, but it's another Ballydolia 1-2 for me, Precise taking the honours. Caroline?
Oh, Jaysella, what a race we have on here, but I'm going to say almost the unthinkable, that True Love is going to beat Precise. As you say, plenty of tactical positions for Wayne Lorden and Ryan Moore to consider, including who really takes this on from the front. But it would be no surprise to me to see Oisin Murphy send Donnacha O'Brien's Ballantina forward, as a prominent track position suited her well in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Fillies Turf at Delmar last year. Ballantina has only won twice in her 8-race career so far, and Oisin Murphy has been on her both times, so something's clicked between this pair. So I'll take Ballantina to force the pace, and True Love to benefit from a strongly run contest.
Now then, for Friday's opener, I'm praying for the Sun Goddess. Considering how Aidan O'Brien's 2-year-olds have been going this week, no surprise to see Sun Goddess such a short-priced favourite. But there you go. The yard is in brilliant form, and Ryan Moore is back at the top of his game, knocking out winner after winner at Ascot's Royal Do, cracking the century and creeping up on all-time record holder Lester Piggott. So, case made for Sun Goddess, but you've got to look at Carl Burke's offering. So Light of Dawn is turned around quickly, but won with a bit in hand at Carlisle, despite taking a long look at the standside crowds on the home straight. I'd guess Andrew Balding's Yolavette might be involved, while Richard Hannon's Dark Issue is a cracking each-way shot, if that's your bag, but Sun Goddess is hard to oppose. Well now, how do you pick one out of this lot for the Sandringham? Well, that's why I'm here, I guess, so I'm going to stick with Seat. Case 4, John and Thaddy Gosden's Too Darn Hot filly showed plenty for pressure in a novice stakes at Doncaster 2 weeks ago, pulling 2 lengths clear of a hot Charlie Appleby favourite when it mattered, and that was on good to firm ground, so more boxes ticked. Ryan Moore gets the leg up, and he's having a cracking week, plus the Gosden's Clarehaven stable aren't doing too bad either. Donica O'Brien's got a nice-looking prospect in Glyfada, who, if given space in a big field to get into a nice rhythm, should be bang there. And Roger Varian's Bint Aziza is still a bit green, but expected to progress from her last run at Thirsk. Ryan Moore on Seat looks a relatively safe bet in this huge field, so gets the big tick. And on Friday at Royal Ascot, Aidan O'Brien and Ryan Moore, for me, have their strongest hand so far this week, a big statement considering their success on Thursday. That could continue with Causeway in the King Edward VII, as the step up in trip to 10 furlongs in the Gallinule at the Curragh seemed to get something extra out of this Wooten Bassett colt, who wouldn't to me be an obvious pick for a 1.5 mile trip. But there you go. I kind of think Aidan O'Brien and Ryan Moore might know what they're doing, huh? I'd be looking at Ancient Egypt to set some early fractions, with Ryan Moore biding his time for a late run with Causeway. Hopefully,